I wanted to skip to page 12 and 13 because you guys should have done the assigned reading previously or prior to class. Now, in between page 12 and 13, we have what we had already discovered. Calamity Jane, she's just a dangerous, woman of the wild, okay? She does a lot of things that, we probably couldn't even imagine doing. And so that's the reason why they call her Calamity Jane, okay? Now, within that, she meets someone on her journey, and he's a stranger. We don't know his name, but he's a stranger. And so the stranger challenges her to this race, this horse race. And of course, Calamity Jane is not going to, turn down a race. She wants to be able to show this stranger, what she's working with, because she, thinks to herself that, I got this, and so within that, this is where we come to page 12 and page 13, because whoever wins the race, they get $50. Okay, so that is what goes on between page 3 and page 11. Okay, so now we're on page 12 and 13, just in case you guys need a refresher here. Shania, please stop pressing buttons, please, because it says you're trying to request control, so make sure you don't press any extra buttons. Okay, wait. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna deny that because I don't know what's going on with that. But guys, as I am reading, please make sure you're following along. This is why I have zoomed in so you guys can see it better on your screen. Okay, I'm gonna start reading, and then the word that I have circled here on page 12, that is actually going to be the unknown word that we are going to find the possible meaning of. Okay, I'm gonna start reading. The stranger scratched his head. This sounded like a pretty strange race. He wondered if he should just leave and find some excitement in the next town. But right at that moment, Calamity Jane hollered, "Whoopee! First horse into the last saloon gets the money." The crowd began to cheer, and the stranger knew the race was on. They mounted their horses and off they galloped. So let's go over here to page 13. Let's make it bigger here. Okay. The stranger reached the first saloon before Calamity Jane. His horse stopped at the swinging doors. "Go on in," the stranger yelled to the horse. Just then, Jim raced past them, pushed open the swinging saloon doors, and trotted inside. The stranger had to get off his horse and drag him through the doors of the saloon. So I'm going to stop right there, okay, because I want to just investigate. Well, we're all going to investigate, together, the word gallop. But before we get there, let's really just talk about what's on page, 12 and 13. In the chat box, tell me what you know just off of me reading, this aloud in class. What's actually going on page 12 and 13? I want to see if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. So let me know in the chat box. What's going on page 12 and 13? The 2 pages that I just read. I'm checking the chat box really quickly. I'm looking. Tell me what's going on in the chat box. What is actually going on here? Because I think this is going to actually help us get the meaning of the word gallop if we know what's going on inside of the story. So let me know what's going on in the chat box. Let's see who's going to be first. Let's see. Let's see who's going to be first. I think it might. Oh, Jabari. He said that horse is scared of the doors. Okay, possibly. Mustafa says the stranger and Jane are having a race. Very good. So I just want to make sure y'all keep those responses coming in because I'm going to check them. But as I'm talking, I just want to make sure that we're actually on the same page with understanding what's going on, right? So they're they're approaching the race. And actually, the stranger came to the saloon first. But the problem is, as Jabari just stated, the horse was scared to go in. He stopped at the door. So pretty much, Calamity Jane and her horse Jim, they pretty much just went off a default because the other horse was scared. But let's get to our graphic organizer, right? So we have the word galloped in here. Now, when we're, investigating the possible meaning, we want to make sure that we're able to understand the context and where the word is used in the story. So somebody really quickly, who's going to get first, put the context of where galloped is found in the story. Remember, context is the full sentence. So let me make it bigger for you all. The full sentence. Oh, very good. I'm liking these responses. I'm checking these responses out from you guys knowing what's going on in the story. Very good. Paradise, Josiah, Shania, Chernaya, Jabari. Oh, Ashlyn is on in here. Great, Ashlyn. What we're doing is we are giving the context and where the word galloped is used in the story. Oh, look, Josiah was first. They mounted their horses and off they galloped. Way to go, Josiah. Okay, because and the reason why we do understand like where the word and how the word is used in the story, because you don't want to get sidetracked. You can get sidetracked if you forget, okay, well, what word am I even looking for? You don't want to get sidetracked. And then you also want to be able to understand, well, okay, this is how the author is using this word in a sentence. So, yes, Josiah, you are correct. So they mounted their horses and off they galloped. Now, I want y'all to think about this. With knowing all of what we know from what I read, and I'm actually about to go back to it in just a second so you guys can look at it. What do y'all think the possible meaning of galloped could be? So I'm back to here, and let me blow it up a little bit more. Just looking at the sentences surrounding the context clues, what do y'all think galloped means? Put it in the chat box. Because they mounted their horses and off they galloped. Think about it. They're in the middle of a race. What do y'all think it means? Oh, Chernaya, she says to run. Okay. Okay, Jabari feels the same way. Oh, good job, Paradise. Awesome. Awesome job. Let's see who has anything else to share out. Y'all go ahead and put those responses in the chat box. Still looking for those answers in the chat box. Oh, Roia just put her answer there in the chat box. So yeah. So I think it does mean to run as well. Okay. Because you have to think about it. They're in the middle of a race. I don't think gallop doesn't mean to stop and pray. Okay. They're not going to be doing any of that. So they're going to be getting there. Because remember, they got to the finish line first. So, hold on one second. This is a parent. But yeah, so they got to the finish line, to the saloon quicker. So yes, in a sense, you all are all correct. Okay, so let me put that there. Yeah, my apologies. We still have kids who are trying to get into the class, but hopefully they'll figure it out. So yeah, so just to run. Yeah, we're going to put run because that's what you all put now. Because, I'm looking at Shania's, they try to win the race. Okay, very good. So it looks like you guys all have the same consensus here that we're all on the same page. Yes, Josiah. Yes, Mustafa. So, we're just going to put that word there. Now, here's the tricky part. Tell me what clue. Oh, I'm blowing up the wrong thing. Tell me what clues allowed you to come up with the possible meaning of gallop means to run. Really, to act swiftly. What clues from the story? Put in the chat box. What are some sentences from this paragraph? Checking the chat box now. Let's see. Oh, Josiah says mounted. Very good, Josiah. I don't even think I had got that answer from any of the other classes. Their horses. Oh, okay. Mounted their horses and off. Okay, I see what you were trying to say, Jabari. responses are moving so fast. Okay, race. Okay, they knew the race was on. Very good. Knew the race was on. Any more, guys? Any more? I'm looking at your responses here, and I'm underlining your responses with my magical pen. In a race, you have to try to get there first with everyone, so you got there because of the race. Is that Paradise? Where is that in the story? We want to make sure we're using that from the story. But so far, from your responses that you have already put, keep those responses going, because I'm going back to the graphic organizer. So keep those responses going. Insert here. They knew the race was on. Very good. Yeah, so obviously they're in the middle of a race. So yeah, they're going to run. They're going to gallop. They're going to do everything that they need to do. They are definitely going to do that. Very good. Okay. So then you get off. And then it tells us off that they ran. So very good. We can go with those two. So let's better understand. I think the author decided the story to give us a better idea of how the stranger got to the saloon. The issue was when they got to the saloon, the horse just wasn't complying. I bet the rest of the story, then you'll understand a little bit. You know, why, in a sense of why the horse just stopped. From the stranger, but it was a valuable lesson at the end of this. But you know, we want to find those you know, unknown words and the meaning of those words, because it helps us better connect with the story. Now, as you know, it's not direct. You know, the stranger had one thing in mind, that was to win. Even though he didn't, but he had one. And so we're actually going to practice with the quizzes. Just determining word means. I think it's different from when you see it in a story. When you also see it in a lot of words. So I think I share my screen, and then let me share it back for our quiz for today. Okay, let's do it this way from this screen here. Okay, here it is, right here. Okay, so guys, go. You can create another tab. If you do that, but I would really suggest you going to create myquiz.com and enter the game code. Oh, look at Paradise. She already on it. That's what I'm talking about, Paradise. Way too low. Yes, Jelani, y'all go ahead and get on in so we can finish playing the game. We don't have that much longer before class is over with. So I want us to really get in deep with this work.